Gonna make the world a better place. Gonna make the world a better place. Gonna make the world a better place. Gonna make it home.
Bad, 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 bad boy.
Yeah.
You make me feel so good. Hey, guys, I'm Dr. Jeremy Cross.
And I'm Dr. Allie Cross.
And this is Footprints to Blueprints. Let's get
Hey,
into it.
Oh,
Yo,
the tea,
man.
The tea.
Listen, take that bad boy.
Yeah.
Man, the stuff with Diddy has
Things are rocking for
me
sure.
just feeling different about the hip hop game.
Well, I just, when you grow up with someone in your childhood who was like a big influence in the music, and you know that they do stuff, but like this is not good stuff. Like this, it's just sad. It's sad.
If you haven't heard the details and what's going on with Diddy, I mean, obviously it's all over the internet, but for me, I really try to stay away from hearing the gossip. I don't like gossip in general, right? But it did get to the point there was a audio released with Meek Mill and, their interaction, and whether it's real, fake, who knows? But for me, it was just
AI.
Man, yeah, because with AI nowadays, you don't know what's real and what's fake. And so you do have to be cognizant of that. But it was one of those things where I just felt bad for the people who have been involved in those situations, right? Because when you're young, like a Justin Bieber, like a, Little Bow Wow, those kind of celebrities that have been in the industry since they were kids.
When you're coming in as a kid and you don't know anything different, and then you have these people who are like your mentors in your industry who are showing you the ropes, and those ropes weren't good.
No.
I mean, the trauma and how awful. I mean, the exposure to things that you're a child. Like, go play soccer. Shouldn't be going to parties and getting all these women or men or whatever like on your lap to do whatever. Like,
it's sad. I think for me, what I've taken away from this whole thing is we have to teach our children what success means, right? Especially now with social media. When these kids see someone, they're like, they're an influencer, or they're a rock star, or they're this, right? It's like, yeah, but at what price? You know what I mean? You don't know what someone has done to get to that level of success or to earn that money. It's like our dean of our medical school used to say, you don't know
what you don't know.
What you don't know, and you don't know, right, where people have come and where they've started. And so I think for me, the lesson taken away from this horrible thing that's taking place here and watching this unfold is that it's important for me to teach my children that being successful is not having a bunch of followers, is not having a gazillion dollars, right? It's being a good citizen, right? And also telling them, hey, if someone's doing something that makes you uncomfortable or makes you feel unsafe, like it's important that you let us know and you tell us. My question to the people, right, especially the young, like I said, the Justin Biebers, the Lil Bow was like, where were their parents? Yeah. Like, where were your parents? Like, as a parent, where were you?
Well, no, Lil Bow Wow, Diddy was his guardian.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that situation's a little bit different. Justin Bieber is different. I mean, that's a different scenario. But there's interviews of him who, when he is talking about that he doesn't want what was done to him.
You got a fuzzy on your mic. It's going to drive me crazy the whole show. Let me get you. That might be part of donut.
I don't know how.
That could have been a little donut crumble.
What, you sneaking donuts in here?
No.
Are you sitting in my chair?
No, I wasn't sitting in your chair at all.
Anyway, no, but
I don't know where my coffee went.
For Justin, it's just sad because he's trying to protect the younger artists, that are coming into the game, because the industry is any industry, right? So look at our industry. So
true.
We were in the surgery on Monday, and we were talking about this, about the trauma, about the people's attitudes and how people can go from 0 to 100 and the triggers and all of this, right? So children who are abused, there has to be a statistic, and I know there is, I just don't have it. Percentage of kids who are abused will abuse others. That is a fact, right? When we're abused in med school and that creates that PTSD, there's a percentage of us as providers and doctors and surgeons and whoever that are going to do it as well, right? Yeah. So that that is that. What is the entrance into our career? Our profession is like totally getting bullied and trauma and hazed as we're going through med school and residency for sure. Like intern year, like that is the worst year. That's where a lot of our trauma comes from.
It is. You're gonna eat shit
And that's
not say
that's our
anything.
entrance into our industry.
Yeah.
The entrance into the music industry is what?
Right.
We
I don't know
don't
because I
know.
wasn't involved. Yeah.
You know, we know a little bit. You have some connections with the music industry, but like we know that it's bad.
Yeah.
And like not bad, like trauma bad. I mean, it's all trauma, but I'm saying like it's dark.
Yeah. There's
You know,
definitely
of
some
the stories that we've
demonic
heard. Yeah.
stuff going on there.
And there's conspiracies with all of that
Yeah, of
too,
course.
but we have a good idea. So it's devastating because that fact that all of this is coming out with Diddy, it just validates all of that.
But for me, it's even deeper than that because I'm like, this stuff has been going on for so long. And so there's layers.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
There's so much that we don't even know because there are, right? We've all heard the conspiracy theories, but there are the societies, the
Yeah,
Illuminatis,
right.
the Skull and Bones, right? So it's like you don't know what part, those factors are playing into this, right? Like we only know what they're exposing us to.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, there's someone above Diddy.
Well,
what did Diddy do? What did Diddy do to get exposed at this level?
Yeah,
Is
because
what
it's
we
been
should
a
be
lot of
thinking
years.
about.
It's a lot of years.
You've had that
it's
footage.
over 20 years that people have kept it quiet. So what happened now?
Like
so
you're going to these
that's
parties.
the scariest part is what you're saying is what happened now for everything to start coming out because
I agree.
everything turned on him.
Yeah. Well, he did something. And it typically
Well, he
happens.
did a lot.
We've seen it with we saw it with Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, right? Like you see
Well, it
it
really
with these
starts you
celebrities.
thinking about Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. and like how that happened, and
Right.
then Aaliyah, Kim Porter,
Left Eye, Kim Porter,
like all
Puffy's
of
wife.
these, yeah.
People that just ended up missing. It was interesting. There's a tie to this whole situation with the NHL, and actually, Jen was telling me one of
the
our
owners
staff,
of the Penguins
the Penguins, his son
exposed him.
was going to expose him.
I thought
supposedly. I thought he was going to. We have to check those facts.
We all know there's some dirt between that.
He ended up dead. The son's dead.
The son is dead?
27. Boop, gone, boop, murked. That's what I mean. Yeah,
I
crazy.
just got chills down my whole body.
And same thing. Like I was talking to my my best friend stuff on the way here, and we were just talking about how Diddy's wife, right? Like
Kim Porter.
When
Cassie was safe to get out.
When they found her, right? The first gentleman that did the autopsy, he said that she died because of poison.
And did he end up dead?
Ended up dead. Yes.
Oh my God.
Did another autopsy, said she died of pneumonia.
This is gonna be a movie.
It's crazy. Oh, the Diddy biography is about to go crazy.
That was after Kim Porter died, after she wrote her book.
Yeah.
Exposing
You know what's even
Diddy.
crazier is they were saying that Corey, Kris Kardashian's boyfriend, was at the scene when Kim Porter was killed.
No.
Yes. So it's like you don't know
I just
what
got body
layer is
chills
going into
again.
what layer.
How? Really?
You
But
don't
what I
know.
was saying, what we were talking about yesterday.
And who knows?
is-
All this stuff could be rumors. No one knows the
Kanye
truth.
is looking real fine right now.
I'm telling you this. Kanye has seen and knows stuff that we didn't know. And so what happened is that the elites above him were trying to depict him as being crazy.
Right,
but in
totally.
reality,
Yeah, he was
right,
getting
he was
out.
like,
Yeah.
yo,
Well,
this
that's
is
what
what's
we think,
taking
yeah.
this
That's
is what's taking place. That's our perspective. That's my perspective.
little
I'm not in the game.
thing.
But
so it'd be interesting to see what you guys all thought, because this is crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah, leave in the comments what you think is really going down and what's going on. I mean, like we all said, we knew Hollywood was Holly weird. Everyone knows that. There's things that take place.
Yeah.
But
this
is, I think for me, when you start bringing in children, though, that's where I draw the line. Like, you know what? You're an adult. You guys want to do your weird and funky, crazy things.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm about. But that's on you. But when you start talking about, like, you know, child trafficking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Sex trafficking. When you start talking about, you know, children using drugs, children sacrifice, all that crazy stuff that we hear about, that's where I'm like, this is so dark.
Yeah.
I cannot get on that level, you know? So,
Dang.
but you're right, though. speaking of just trauma, right, from industry to industry, right? Like we can only speak to the trauma that we faced when we went through our training and the fact that this is something that's cultivated, right? Like when we would go to surgery with surgeons, right? You would see it. Surgeons would throw shit across the room, right? Like they would get away with this. Talk to the nurses as if they were dirt, call you stupid as a resident, right? Throw you out of the OR. Like that type of abuse that takes place. Unfortunately, there are people who go through that process and say, I'm never gonna treat someone like that. But then there's other people, for whatever reason, they're conditioned to continue that behavior. And that is what we have to stop. Like, you know what? Okay, great. There's been trauma. Diddy's been exposed. How are we going to, as a culture and a community, change that so that these young artists who are coming out can be protected? Because it shouldn't be the child's fault who is a savant and can play the piano and is an amazing singer, right? Like, he should be able to have an opportunity to be
What they think is like, oh my
successful.
gosh, I have to go in to do all these crazy things to get on the top and get good record deals. Like you don't want that to be the situation.
But you also don't know, like, did someone slip something in their drink, right? Like these people
Well,
were
that's
drugged.
what
They're
there's
talking about they
yes,
were
right.
actually drugged,
Yeah.
right? And so you don't have any control at that point, right? You put something in my drink and I'm drugged and then someone tries to take advantage of me. What am I going to do? And then you have them on film and now all of a sudden you're exposing them and you're like, I'm going to ruin your career.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to
exactly.
ruin
Totally.
your life.
It's blackmail.
It's hard. I mean, but even think about social media, right? You have social media and people who have this following, you have people who hack in and are like, oh, I'm going to sell pictures that were on your phone. I mean, this happens to people because there are people that are trying to take advantage of others. So I think the biggest thing is just protect yourself. I mean, it's definitely,
watch your kids.
Watch your kids, but it's definitely, for me in the last year, the first 2 years out when I was doing social media, into it, posting every day. And I've really taken a step back just because I'm like, you know what, man? At what point does it stop though? I'm posting every day and that's great that I'm gaining this following, but what does that mean to what, right? Like what am I giving up, right? My time is the most valuable thing. So if I'm having to give up time with my daughters, my wife, my mother, right? My patients, then I have to take a step back because the media part of it is not that valuable to me to where I'm going to put everything else on the back burner and focus on a following from a million people that I don't even know.
For you were able to grow an organic following to a pretty good amount of people.
Yeah.
But a lot of people love that glam. They love that attention. And because you've played D1 basketball, it's not that big of a deal to you, I mean, like you have gotten a lot of that exposure.
Yeah.
And that's why you left basketball. I mean, you could have gone and played, but you left to have a family. And
It
so
was a
social
big
media is just
factor.
another way of doing that. It was like to get out there. But you have to tell your whole story or your whole life and spend all the time on social media. Like you're good with not doing that because you've already lived that a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
no, I think
your
you're
place is
right.
a little bit different, but yeah, it's crazy.
It's super crazy, It'll be interesting to see if we hear from like Mace and if he says something in regards to like their relationship, like the people that will come out and start saying stuff and as we, hear more about what's taking place. But honestly, prayers to all those that have been victimized, that were involved in.
And anyone who experiences those kinds of things, I mean, it's a lot bigger and more relevant to, I think, our everyday and our connections with people who are involved with people in sex trafficking and who've had trauma like rape and all of that. I mean, it's really...
And it's prevalent in your communities. Like you may not think
just
about
no one
it.
talks
Like,
about it.
I mean, I have patients who are police officers and they will talk about the fact that, sex trafficking was going on at this restaurant or was going on at this
Everyone
nail
just needs
spot.
we all need to open our eyes a little bit, I think. We're all live in our little bubbles and think that it could not happen in our neighborhood, and we just need to be a little more aware and careful of our kids too.
Yeah. I mean, what's the saying that I tell our kids all the time? I literally tell them, people take people.
Yeah.
Like strangers will take you. Like I'm not there. I'm not hiding the reality of the fact that, listen, you have to be aware of your surroundings and know where you're at. And if we're in the grocery store, you can't run off to the next aisle because
'Cause
all
you
it
may
takes
never
is
come
a
back.
second. You may never come back.
Yeah, I know.
You may never, especially my beautiful babies with that blonde hair. They gone, you know? What else is going on, man? What's going on in the house world?
Well,
We just finished our built-in,
and our floors are done.
and our floors are done.
We're getting
Shout
our
out
tiling done today.
to Floor and Decor. Thank you so much for the partnership.
Yes.
That was really, really awesome experience to get to work with them and do our acacia hardwood floors. And for me, I'm kind of turning this corner in how I'm creating content. I don't know, maybe I'm just turning into an old man, but I've been really into creating content as far as interior design. It's been one of our big passions. And I think as content creators, we typically will just stay in our lane, right? Like, oh, you're a podiatrist, so just only do medical content. And then we get fearful of putting out different forms of content because we may not get as much engagement. But for me, I'm like, I'm an artist. So I'm not just creating so that I can get 4,000 likes, right? I mean, I'm creating because this is something that I'm passionate about. And I think eventually that you turn that corner and people start to appreciate what you're doing from an interior design standpoint. But it's been really fun to bring people into our home just a little bit and show them how we decor our home and our vision and our process as we're creating, you know, from an interior design standpoint. So we just did our built-in bookcase with benches on the side, and that was a long process because we had to sand and paint and do all the fun stuff. But
awful.
it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was. But now we're doing our pantry.
Yeah, it's called Essex green, and it's hunter, like dark green, and it's beautiful. It looks like black. And so that will be fun.
It was good. I was
Yeah.
painting that last night as we were cooking dinner. I was on the grill cooking chicken, had a roller in one hand painting, and so
Yeah,
we're
no,
getting
it
the
was great.
tile in that room, and it'll look beautiful. So just chipping away. You know, it's a process. I think the big thing that we've learned too is you're not gonna get it all done in
Or
a
it's
month.
like today I had the tile guys there, the electrician was there, and then I remembered I had a work meeting at 9:30 that I had to cancel. Like I had to pop on and say, sorry, I can't make this meeting. And that sucks because I specifically planned it to have that meeting. So
But juggling.
it's just, and been sick, and I just pray that the girls aren't sick. It's our daughter's 5th birthday this weekend. So
Ooh, happy
we're going to
birthday,
celebrate that with
Lele
her.
Bean. We
and
love you.
Soccer and
We're so excited. Yeah, and soccer's
busy
been going
season.
great.
God, the Nutcracker starts in a couple weeks. That'll be a busy fall event,
Yeah.
fall time. So, but it's all. This is what it is.
It's all good. So to all you guys out there who are balancing working, being parents, being partners, you know, we're always praying for you guys, and we always appreciate you guys joining us. I'm Dr. Jeremy Cross,
And I'm Dr. Allie Cross.
and this is Footprints to Place.
Have a good day, you guys.
Make the world a better place. Gonna make the world a better place.